Hello guys, I'm back. In today's video I'll be showing you how to replace your rotors and brake pads on your BMW. I am doing this on my BMW, but it's pretty much the same concept in every other car and it's very easy. So first thing we're going to do is lift up the car, take the wheel off, and then we can get started on the brakes. So after taking the wheel off, getting the car up in the air, we're going to use this 6mm Allen key to take this little bolt off. So now you're going to have to tap out these guide pins right here. I don't have a punch to use, so I'm using a little drill bit. Still works, so what you want to do is put that in there. Just to give you a better example, there's one right there and right there. And this is the one I just punched out. And there's the retaining clip that holds the brake pads together. So next step, we're going to pop this off. So now we have to pop this pin off, which I just wiggled it back and forth and it literally popped off. And here are the brake pads. Now this brake pad, not sure if you can see, has a sensor on it. So you have to pop that off. It literally just slides out. And if your sensors are tripped, then you might have to replace it, but I replaced mine like a few months ago. So once you get the pads out, get the sensor disconnected, you will need a special tool to separate the pistons on all two sides. So you put that in there. And then you crank it until they're pushed back. Now you're all good. Once you separate the pistons, up next is to take off the actual caliper. There are two 18mm bolts on both sides. Once you pop them off, the whole caliper should come off. So after removing the two bolts that hold the caliper, all we need to do now is actually remove the rotor itself, which I'll be using a hammer because that's stuck on there. So after bashing the rotor for like 5 minutes, it pops off. And as you can see, there's a lot of corrosion and rust on this hub, so I'm going to use a wire wheel to clean this all up so it's nice and clean with no rust. So after we got our hub cleaned up to the best of our ability, we can go ahead and put on these beautiful rotors. Also make sure you put them on the correct way because these are directional. You can see the way these lines are at, so once we got the rotor tightened on here, we can go ahead and put the caliper back on using these two bolts that are 18mm.
Just push the piston and a smidge might have come out a little bit while I was resting.
Oh shit. So anyways, now we're gonna do the brake pads. So you take them in like this, you slide them in on both sides, like so. Do the other one, and then next up are the retaining clips. So then, all you gotta do is pop the sensor back in, slide this brake pad in there. I'll have to wiggle it around back and forth for it to slide in. So after you slide the brake pads in, next up is this retaining clip. Make sure these flanges are facing that way. So you can go ahead and put this in. Take your new pin, slide it through the back. Take the lower one. And this flexes so you can pull on it. Just like so. And then what you want to do up next is hammer them in with a hammer on both sides so they can go through. So once you hammer the retaining clips in, these brake pads should move just a tiny bit. That's when they know they're in correctly. So that is the very last step, and that's how you do your own brakes. So these brakes have a special procedure. I have to drive for a couple minutes, going from 45 miles per hour and come to a 5 mile per hour stop, and do that 10 to 20 times. And then let the brakes cool off, and as long as they don't squeak, then that's when I did everything correctly. So if you have any questions, make sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think, and if you want to see any more videos, let me know.